Hello everybody, this is Lara with a quick update for Bitcoin, Ethereum and XRP for you. Stepping back slightly and looking at Bitcoin on the weekly chart, I am expecting that support at 24,800 is extremely likely to hold, and that the last 3 weeks sideways and now upward movement is the start of a very large bullish run for Bitcoin. Look for resistance just below 29,000, 31,000 and 35,000. As we move higher, don't expect price to move in a straight line. There'll be pullbacks and consolidations along the way. Volume's fallen off. Now I'm a little bit skeptical about crypto compared data. I've checked a couple of other data sources. Volume has declined as price is essentially moving sideways. And price is essentially consolidating with resistance at 31,000 and support about 24,800. Once we get a breakout, I'll expect some energy released and a return to volume. At the weekly time frame, ADX is setting itself up for a really strong signal. The black ADX line is declining, the DX lines are whipsawing. If the black ADX line reaches below 15 and then starts to rise up and reaches back above 15, that would be a very strong signal. If it does that, then whichever DX line is on top at that stage, that would be indicating a new trend in that direction. So far, the positive DX line is above the negative, but that could whipsaw back and forth as the ADX line declines further. So I will be watching ADX on the weekly time frame with great interest over the next few weeks. As price is bouncing up off support, stochastics almost reached oversold and now it's increasing and moving higher in neutral territory. So given a model of stochastics plus support and resistance, I would expect overall an upward swing to resistance and for stochastics to move higher to overbought. If that happens when price gets up to resistance, it depends on what ADX is doing as to whether or not I would follow that model of stochastics plus support and resistance, but that's what the model would say. Overall upward movement to about 31,000 at the weekly time frame. At the daily time frame, we got a breakout above resistance of this red channel, a back test of support. Now price is moving higher today. Today and yesterday there are a couple of bullish long lower wicks. Support at 27,400 is holding. I'm expecting it's probably most likely to continue to hold, and I expect we're probably going to get an increase in upward movement, possibly with support from volume and possibly an increase in range as price moves higher to next resistance just below 29,000. And the target from the head and shoulders pattern, here's the inverted head and shoulders, head, right hand shoulder, left hand shoulder neckline, drawn from the peaks between the shoulders and the head. It's really important to draw your neckline accurately. That's how you do it. Don't just randomly draw a straight line. It's important because you need to calculate the target from the breakout point, which was this point right here. That target is 29,750. Yesterday saw price falling with a great decline in volume. So far price is rising also with a further decline in volume. Normally that would be a concern for a bullish case, but cryptocurrencies, I keep saying they can be really weak off their lows. ADX at the daily time frame a few days ago gave us the strongest signal it can give. It rose up from below 15 and from below both DX lines, is rising passes 15. The positive DX line is above the negative. This is ADX giving us the strongest bullish signal it can give. It tells us that at the daily time frame Bitcoin is in a very early stage of a new upward trend. This is the look I'm going to be looking for to see if ADX does this at the weekly time frame as well, and I would give even more weight and be even more bullish if we see this happen on the weekly time frame. So far it's setting itself up for that. In a few weeks it might do that. When ADX says the market is trending, I don't use that model of stochastics plus support and resistance. I use ADX plus RSI and money flow. RSI is neutral. There's a ways to go before it gets as overbought as it can get at the daily time frame. Money flow also neutral. This is a new upward trend in a very early stage. I'd like to let you know that we're providing Euro analysis 5 days a week. Jack Frost is providing it Monday to Thursday I'm doing the wave count and supplying that to him with his input as well. So there's 2 of us working on that. And then on Friday, Jordan Marshall comes in and provides your end of week analysis with a video. We've been remarkably accurate for Euro. If you're trading Euro and you've been struggling with this big downward trend and expecting it to end or not knowing how far it's going to go, then you need our analysis. This is a summary of our chart our members received on the 12th of September, so nearly a month ago, over 3 weeks ago. We've expected this downward trend to continue. We've been expecting it through here as well, and we expected this bounce, but this is the summary our members received on the 12th of September, and if you're trading euro, you know it's been going down since then. So consider subscribing to our euro analysis. It'll pay for itself within a few days. The link to subscribe on our website is in the description box below. On the daily chart, my Elliott Wave count for Ethereum, I said that I expected sub-minuet to move below the end of A. I was expecting a new low, at least a little bit, below 1638.79. We've got that today, so now sub-minuet wave 2 looks like a really good looking A, B, C zigzag, and finding support a little bit above the upper edge of this channel. When price does these back tests of support, they actually almost always fall a little bit short of touching those trend lines. Not always, but really commonly they will. And so this is a really typical look so far, and this is a very bullish long lower wick developing so far on today's candlestick. It's 3:10 as I record this in the afternoon, so it looks like this candlestick may well complete with a bullish lower wick. I'll be expecting for Ethereum a move now up and away for a third wave at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 degrees. So after minor, there's intermediate, primary, and cycle. This is an absolutely hugely bullish Elliott Wave count for Ethereum. If minuet 2 moves lower, it may not move beyond the start of 1 below 1563.59. On the daily chart for Ethereum, here's that pullback. Support is holding at 1650, bullish lower wicks. I expect the support is likely to hold. I'll be expecting upward movement, and if price can remain above 1716, it did close above that here but immediately returned back below. If it can close again above 1716 and then move up, I'll look for next resistance at 1800 for a consolidation or pullback, and then above that 2020. Volume was pushing price lower on this session, but now for the last 2 sessions a strong decline in volume as price falls of its own weight. With a decline in range and a decline in volume, this looks like a very typical backtest of support, and we may expect it's very likely price is going to move up and away after this. With ADX declining, it's still a ways away from setting itself up from giving us a signal. At this stage, with ADX declining, it's telling us there's no clear trend. Now, normally I would use that model of stochastics plus support and resistance, but stochastics tells us to expect downward movement because it's reacting from almost overbought and moving down through neutral. But volume and range and the breakout and backtest of support, this very typical look of price behavior, tells me to expect otherwise. I wouldn't actually expect downward movement to continue to next support about 1550. I think it looks like this is likely to be the end of it. If it continues for another day or two, I'd expect a really small range, lighter volume, just a slight drift a little bit lower. That's also possible, but I think what's most likely is an imminent strong upward movement for Ethereum. The Elliott Wave count for XRP is very bullish. I see XRP in a third wave at intermediate, primary and cycle degree. I may want to move the degree of labelling here up 1 degree. I'm still on the fence about that. Either way, I'm expecting more upward movement for a third wave at 1, 2, 3 degrees, if not more. In the interim though, XRP is finding really strong resistance at 55 cents. If it can close comfortably above that with push from volume, then I'd expect next resistance at 62 cents. If it closes above resistance at 55 cents and moves up and away a little bit, look out for a backtest of support before it moves up to 62 cents. So don't expect price to move in a straight line, and you can use resistance and support to guide how you expect price is most likely to move. It's finding resistance here, it'll break through, move up, back test, move up, reaction, breakthrough, back test, and so on, and move up to 82 finally. Downward movement has a little bit of a push from volume today though for XRP. It's an inside session though, almost as a doji, so we need to wait for this session to close really to have an idea of what's happening with volume and price within this session. Yesterday's upward session did have some increase in volume above the previous 3 sessions, so that's good to see again for a bullish case. And the volume profile for XRP I'll still read as bullish because this is the strongest recent volume here. There's a really small weak little bullish signal from on balance volume at the close of yesterday's session. It's broken above this little yellow resistance line, but it's short lived and it's only got 2 tests, so Really weak bullish signal. ADX tells us XRP has an upward trend in a relatively early stage. This isn't the strongest signal ADX can give because it hasn't risen up from low levels. It's risen up from about the low 20s, not below 15, but it is still telling us there is an upward trend, and which is a long way from extreme. RSI is neutral. There's a long way before this gets overbought. Money flow also neutral. There's a long way for this upward trend to continue for XRP. That's it for me with your Bitcoin, Ethereum and XRP analysis today. I hope everyone's having a lovely day.